I wanted to end this project in the same place that I started it. I wanted to take this time to reflect on what I took away from the challenge, different explanations for certain things, the way they went, and then why I did this to begin with. I'm going to go through the whole list of things. So the first thing I have for reflections, which we'll deal with first, is when I look back, I didn't take away what I thought I would, which is true. So I thought when I did this project, what I was really going to take away from it was, like I did kind of take it away, but it wasn't as profound, I guess, was this idea of like there's so much that happens in a moment. I think I got my expectations so high that this was going to be just such a creative process, which I think it could have been. I think it was, but I really just scratched the surface of. I think what I really what first struck me when I watched the whole thing was I learned about myself, which I didn't really expect to, I guess. And a lot about my personality and who I am right now and who I want to be. I think I definitely saw both good and bad in myself in these clips. This challenge showed a quite different side of myself. I never saw this sort of bubbly girl, this bubbly personality. Very kind of surprised and pleasantly surprised that I have that bubbly side. I kind of like that about myself. And then things I'd like to change, obviously, things I've already commented on, sort of, I think, just the ways that I've kind of limited myself. And I think that's kind of held me back and kind of caused a lot of these other more personal struggles that I've already voiced out in other parts of this challenge, or that you guys have seen, that I'm struggling in different clips, I only have, to be fair, okay, it was 365 days, I think I have like 3 or 4 clips of me crying, but needless to say, and, I'm a sensitive person, okay? It's learning these different parts of yourself and kind of accepting who you are. As human beings, I don't think we can fully know who we are. I think that that's really only fully illuminated through God, and after, we've died and gone to heaven. It's not something we can really fully grasp, but we can get parts of ourselves through these experiences, through these moments in our lives. Challenges and hardships and good times and videos of ourselves. We can really grasp an understanding for another side of ourselves, and we can change different habits that kind of have sort of given image or a sort of look at who we are, our identity. It's the choices that you'll make in those situations, and then that kind of really brings out who you really are. There's always different parts to who you are, and I think it's just sort of constantly learning from that and growing in that understanding and really acceptance, really learning not so much to, love myself, it's all about me, not in a narcissistic or selfish way, but in the sense of I'm a human being, I was created by God, I'm a beautiful person, and I have all of these things that are good, I have some things that are bad, and this is what I can bring to the table. And that's, I think, a strong person. So then the second thing I have on my list is the whole point of me kind of doing the challenge originally. So that's the value of a moment, which really is really precious. This idea of time, and it's so limited, but yet it just goes on. So it's like time has always just really fascinated me. In fact, whenever I'm hanging out with my friends, I'll always be like, what time is it? What time is it? More than that, and I'm tired. Those are the two things I say way too much. What time is it? And I'm tired. We could do one of those whose line is it anyway sketches. Those can be my 2 things I'm allowed to say. There is something about time, and I think the value of a moment and simple things in life. And they're not really things you should really be ashamed of. In fact, there is a sense of almost comfort or familiarity in those smaller things, whether it is driving in the car from work and talking to my brother, listening to music on the radio, or, going grocery shopping. That are really simple, and you kind of can get, they can be overthought, but they're really beautiful things. And there's just something about that. I think the play is called Our Town, and that same kind of concept. The ending where at the table and the daughter's looking over, kind of like she's died, and then she's looking at this memory of her whole family, but they're all like kind of distracted. And she goes, "Well, we're all together. Why can't we enjoy that? Why can't we be happy?" There we go. There's that idea of really enjoying that moment, enjoying the people around you, and not taking them or time or that moment for granted. You don't have to have a big charade or epic thing to make that like moment or your life worthwhile. And it's really the simple things that I think are most familiar, most comfortable, and that touch us the most. For me, my faith is a huge part of who I am, and I think this year in particular, I've been a little bit not so consistent with my prayer life. I think I've really slacked on that end. To some extent, you could say that that's why at points I got more stressed out than others, because I wasn't keeping up with that prayer, because there's definitely a sense of calm that you get when you pray, and I think God and the Holy Spirit really do give you that strength to say, all right, I got this. So when you don't do that, you sort of can feel a little bit helpless at times, I think. But even beyond spirituality, family is a huge part of me, and that's really the point that I wanted to get at with that. It's the clips with my family. So whether it's my brother, me and his friends, or family dinner, me and my sister, those are really the fun clips. Those are the interactive clips. Those are the ones you get excited, that you laugh at, that you see that this sort of joy and these personalities and conversation. And there's just something about family life and those connections that are so priceless. I think my grandmother always said, if you don't have family, you don't have anything. And I think that she's really right about that. I think, one of the best ways we can represent love and give of ourselves is through family. And that bond, those connection, that caring that we bring home. And Mother Teresa always says that, if you want to, bring love into the world, that starts at home. So it's really how we treat our neighbors, how we treat our parents, how we treat our brothers and sisters at home, and then bringing that outside of our home. Because as I said with the Celtic knot, and how I view family, everyone's sort of family. We all are interconnected. So it is just such a huge part of, I guess if you're thinking of it how I do, of not just who I am, but of human nature. So the next point I had on my list was how I spend my time. So as you guys know from a lot of the clips, half of my clips are either, me eating, me sleeping, and giving you a recap of the day, or also there's missed clips, so clips I just didn't film. So for whatever circumstances, and obviously shit happens, but knowing what the project was, I could have made more of an effort. It's in those moments where I'm saying I'm too busy, or I'm just tired, I'm just lazy. Really what I'm saying instead of I'm just busy is I'm lazy and I'm just choosing not to do anything with my time. And I think the challenge for me moving forward is changing that I'm lazy and tired to let's do something. It's then saying, okay, well, how do I give value to that moment? How do I choose to then act on that recognition and that knowledge? I think everyone in life, this is kind of the half mark, has their life crosses or things that they go through. I think that's inevitable. You're going to have small things, you're going to have big things. It's part of life. Human suffering is, part of the human condition. And I think that phrase is a lot easier to say than accept at times in your life. I think for me, I'm going through a lot smaller, and I'm very grateful. I think I've definitely, through different instances in my life, witnessed God's great mercy and compassion for us, and I'm grateful for that. And really recognizing those crosses and not letting them overwhelm you, overcome you, but seeing that as a challenge to keep moving forward. It's keeping that hope, keeping that faith, and staying motivated, and being able to evaluate yourself and say, okay, these are great things about me, but these are really things I need to work on too. That's any business model, anywhere you work, they're going to tell you that. You know, that's how you grow in the business. That's how you grow in a skill, is you continuously research, you continuously evaluate, and you continuously motivate and work harder. And that's how it works. You try, you persevere,